Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Jevon Wooden, the founder and CEO of BrightMind Consulting Group. Jevon brings a fascinating mix of expertise in empathetic leadership, cybersecurity, and military service, with over a decade in the U.S. Army, where he earned a Bronze Star and a passion for helping leaders build resilient, people-centered organizations. Based in Houston, Texas, BrightMind Consulting Group, founded in 2017, is revolutionizing how executives and teams amplify their impact through coaching, training, and strategic consulting. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients in the leadership development space, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Jevon, welcome to Founders Future.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Jay. I can already tell it's going to be an amazing conversation.
I appreciate it, man. An honor and a pleasure, and thank you so much for your service. So again, truly a pleasure to have you on the show today, Jevon. So if we could start at the beginning for our listeners here, talk to us a bit about what specific problem in the leadership development landscape really inspired you to start BrightMind Consulting Group.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned in the outset that, that cybersecurity background, and then I also had the military experience. So I seen a whole lot of apathetic leadership happening. And what I saw was the domino effect, right? The falls of a lot of people, a lot of creative, talented folks just became shell of themselves because they weren't supported. They weren't valued. So that's why I set out to focus on that emotional intelligence and specifically empathy, because I understand that there's a quote by Naya Rivera that said, "A butterfly can't see its wings." I understand the power of being able to pour into others and help them see their wings, help them see their power. And then also as leaders to tap in intrinsically and be empathetic to ourselves to say, hey, I am more than capable. I am a leader. I don't have to know everything. Actually, I have all of these talented people. Let me bring all of them in so we can innovate and excel.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that is super, super important. And I hear the passion in your voice. So incredible to hear you walking us through. And I'm looking forward to the conversation here. So really want to get into the nuts and bolts straight off the bat for our listeners, because I think once this episode airs, Jevon, you're going to have a lot of eyes onto what you're doing and wanting to come and work with you. So let's get through really what the core offer is. I know you have personalized coaching sessions, you have training programs, culture transformation consulting. Walk us through what all of your core offers are and who is the ideal client for these offers. Two-part question for you there.
Yeah, absolutely. So the core offer really is the customized, I can't even call it training solutions anymore, more of learning solutions, right? Because the training, I found that people, when they're trained, they have to be open to learning it. But when you learn, then you're able to take that skill set and apply it immediately. So we teach them how to do that. We don't just come up with a strategy, but we also help them to implement the lessons along the way. And I feel like that really differentiates us from the marketplace, because a lot of these organizations, they'll do the strategy and say, here you go. We're able to embed in your organization, provide the coaching, provide what we call cultural transformation consulting, and all these other things to grow. And we leverage a framework called the 5 Why framework. When I was started coaching, one of my favorite things to do was ask why, right? Find the root cause of why people even set out to do whatever their goal was. And you typically have to do that 5 times for someone to get past that surface level. So I created a framework around that we can get into if you want to go deeper. My book, Functional to Phenomenal, talks a lot about that. But that's really the baseline of how all of our products and services are offered. And then you ask, who is the primary target audience for that? We typically focus on small to medium-sized businesses. So typically that's caps out around 5,000 employees. And the reason why is because larger organizations, they typically have their people embedded already. And then we also have a track for entrepreneurs. And I find that the one-on-one coaching is especially valuable for the entrepreneurs, because although many of our problems are similar, the way we get through those problems or the way we process the problems is completely different for each entrepreneur.
Incredible. You really have an array of services there. And I would really love to hear from you a bit now because I've had many founders come on the show that have a similar fulfillment model, maybe not the same, but they typically mention the difficulty to scale, especially with how personal you are with each of your clients. What's your experience been so far with scaling and having that productized offer? And what is your game plan to scale above and beyond with BrightMind?
Yeah, so for me, I call it a conglomerate, right? So it's not just myself. Like I am the founder and CEO of BrightMind, but what I do is I bring in other coaches and consultants because I believe in the collaborative model. That is really the only way that we can go ahead and maximize the success of those that we're looking to impact. So I'll bring in others who are on my bench, so to speak. And if I have a larger project, I'll say, okay, these coaches, these consultants have these levels of expertise. They'll come in under the BrightMind Consulting Group umbrella, and then they'll operate under this. We've signed the contract, of course, and get the paperwork in place, but I've already vetted them and I know that they are going to operate at the level of excellence that our banner holds. So that's how I scale and grow as needed while keeping operational costs low.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So really working with a partnership system on that front there and bringing in other coaches and consultants to help out what you're pushing forward here. So with that in mind, talk to me a little bit about the acquisition side. What are you seeing work best to bring in more leads, consistency on that side, whether it's ads that you're running, social media, referrals from your past few years of success? What channels have been most effective for you there? And what challenges have you seen on having consistency and predictability in your lead flow?
Yeah, absolutely, man. First and foremost, Jay, I have tried damn near everything, brother. It feels, I can say from my experience, especially being a service-based business,
Yeah.
relationships are really everything. And you hear that a lot, but a lot of people are still transactional. They'll reach out immediately trying to sell something. They'll go ahead and talk about how amazing they are, but they forget about the person on the other side, and that's where empathy comes in at. So I found that developing relationships through conversations like this have been the best thing that I can do. Going out to network, but not to have my hand reach out, but to say, hey, how can I help you? What are you looking to do? And when they see the value that I offer from that side, automatically they think of me. They think of me when the opportunity to work together comes up. They think of me and they ask me first when there's a speaking engagement. So that's really been my level of experience when it comes to what has worked, just developing that rapport. And then also OPP, other people's platforms. So I do a lot of podcasting, guest writing, and all these other things. I use LinkedIn for their newsletter feature, go live with video. Doing those things allows your content to be evergreen, and then it also allows you to be omnipresent. And then you're also biting off of them for their search engine optimization because no other domain authority is higher than that. So that's how I leverage all of those platforms. And then I just use even Google. Google, a lot of people don't use Google My Business properly. They don't post photos. They don't post event updates. They don't post any of that stuff. So I'll go in there, same things I'm posting to LinkedIn and all these other social media platforms. I'll update my Google My Business with all those photos too, so that it shows that we're active. And then now we're number one on management consulting in Houston, Texas because of that. That's what has worked for me. Ads, I have not found it to be very beneficial, especially right now. And then the challenges of growing and scaling when it comes to what's working, what's not is things change, right? One day Facebook ads was hot, next Google ads was hot, now TikTok ads is hot. So you really have to just keep your ear to the street and see what's working, what's not, and be willing to test and pivot. Because if you want longevity, you have to be willing to pivot and reinvent.
Absolutely. And you said something there that I definitely want to touch on a bit more. And that was the ad side. What have you tried that you see that it's just something that's not working well? Because that's a huge piece that we touch on here. And again, when I hear that people are having a hard time with ads, we have so many clients that were struggling with it and then we were able to reposition their messaging, put them in front of the right place and really skyrocket their success. So what is it that you saw on that side that wasn't working well? And did you end up putting that down fully or are you still trying a little bit? What's the situation there look like?
Yeah, for me, like Facebook, Instagram, I stopped doing those. Now I'm on the LinkedIn side. I still do Google ads for the more for the brand awareness for that. But now that I know my platforms that I'm supposed to be on,
Yeah.
it works wonders. That's really one of the main things. Is are you on the proper platform? And organizations like yours, because you look at that's the benefit of working with someone like you.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So, with that being said, I would love to get into a bit more. I know you mentioned the partner model that you have with the other coaches and consultants that you work with. What does your internal team look like? Are you running the show on your own here, Jevon, or do you have a sales team, marketing team, setters, closers? What does that look like from the outside looking in?
Yeah, for me, I have back end support. So I use a lot of 1099ers on my
Yep.
back end. So like managing social media, managing my videos, doing all the video editing, posting on my socials outside of LinkedIn and my personal page, managing things like that, my day to day, my calendar, my email, all of that stuff, booking travel. I have people who do that stuff for me because that's that admin stuff. I don't enjoy it. So I looked at what I don't enjoy, but what must get done. And I said, hey, who can I get to do that? So I have an amazing team on that back end that allows me to just focus on growing this business.
I
But
love
as
it.
far as like appointment setters, closers, I don't have them. I had some, but they didn't bring in the business I needed them to bring in.
Gotcha. So on that side, are you doing all of that on your own right now?
Yeah, for the most part. But for me, it's easy because I enjoy talking to people.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And for our listeners, especially the ones who are having a harder time with that, what was it that you saw in those setters and closers that you brought on prior that didn't work out well? What are you looking for when you're in the future when bringing on some more setters and closers?
To me, the messaging matters and how it's conveyed matters. And for someone to sell on your behalf, they have to believe in your product and your service the same way you do. And they have to take that level of ownership. A lot
Mm,
of these organizations don't do that. They just throw random people there and say, hey, we're going to get you 100 appointments. Appointments could be appointments, but that doesn't mean they're qualified leads. So
right.
it becomes a waste of your time, or it just becomes trash and it's taking away from where you actually need to put your energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that being said, what would you point to right now, Jevon, as your one of your bigger bottlenecks that you're looking to solve? Whether it is more predictability on your lead gen, bringing on some more A players for the setting and closing so you can really have quality and scale this up. What are you thinking about on that side that you're looking to get through?
I think all business owners look when you think about scaling, you think about how to keep that funnel full.
Right.
And that's always if you don't have anything in the pipeline, then you're going to be in trouble. So that's what we all think about. I think that's common. At least you should be thinking about it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is that something that is really top of mind, or are you happy with what you're doing on that front? You looking to add more to it? What's the thought process on breaking through that?
Yeah, for me, I do a great job, at least from what I see on my back end.
Yeah,
I do a great job of keeping that pipeline full because I'm super active. Like for
absolutely.
me, I'm always doing something. I'm always meeting new people. I never stop just because I'm implementing with someone doesn't mean I'm not going to do biz dev.
Absolutely. So, I mean, with that in mind, then paint us the picture here, Javon, if you can. What are you really laser focused on for the rest of this year? Whether you have specific revenue targets, impact goals, talk to us about what the laser focus is for the rest of 2025 to keep that scale and growth and success coming for BrightMind.
Yeah, for me, I'm laser focused. We kind of went away from serving the entrepreneurs
Yep.
and even in our messaging. So now I'm laser focused, knowing how hard it is for entrepreneurs to make it right now because of the uncertainty in the economy. I'm laser focused on getting back to helping those entrepreneurs. Hopefully, we can help at least 50 this year with a program that we're rolling out here shortly. So, everyone that's listening, stay tuned. It's probably going to be already out by the time you hear this.
Love it. I love that. So, are we able to see that on the website? How are the entrepreneurs going to be able to see that new offer that you guys have?
Oh yeah, they'll see it on the website. We're actually revamping that right now to show that we help entrepreneurs because we
Bro,
noticed that was a weakness on our site. And then also social media. You connect with me anywhere, you're going to see a bunch of announcements on how we're looking to serve them now.
amazing. Amazing. So, with that in mind, then, hypothetically speaking, here,
Right.
Javon, if we were able to snap our fingers and provide you with unlimited resources at your fingertips right now, what do you think you're implementing immediately to boost that growth?
Unlimited resources?
Unlimited resources right now.
If I had unlimited resources, I'm just going to go ahead and go away and hire people to do exactly what I'm doing. So I don't got
Yeah.
to do it anymore. So a BrightMind Consulting Group can just bring in money as I
Yep.
sleep.
Yep. That would be the goal. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I love it. Overall, taking it back and back to reality, what do you see as the leadership development industry as a whole and its evolution in the coming years? I mean, especially with your military background, your empathy backed approach, the way that technology is rapidly evolving. What are you doing to keep Bright Mind at the forefront of that evolution?
For us, we definitely need to stay on top of the technology and how we can leverage that and use that as a force multiplier for our organizations. So for me, I don't see artificial intelligence or any of the tech that comes out as something that can replace, because again, that context, that human element, that emotional intelligence cannot be emulated by a machine. So I think that we need to embrace that. Like, how can we start using AI coaching to make our sessions more effective for the client? How can we improve our offerings so that asynchronous component isn't like burning the person out because they're tired of doing the asynchronous one-on-one same old training, but make it more engaging and more real-time type stuff focus? How can we make it so maybe that technology can keep our stuff updated, so when something new comes up, maybe we use a digital twin to deliver those technologies and those trainings for us so it feels like it's us. So there's so much that we can do, and I'm excited about it.
I love it. I absolutely love that. So taking us into the lightning round with that one there, Jevon, just a couple more questions for you before we wrap it up. And the first one's going to be on the tool or resource side, whether it's a mindset insight from your book, a leadership strategy from your military experience, an AI tool that you're using internally. What can you say is the biggest game changer for BrightMind Consulting Group this far?
The biggest game changer is focus. Not trying to be what we are not, understanding who we're looking to sell, and understanding that there is a plan in place and we're just going to trust that process.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then two more questions before we wrap it up, and they're both on the advice side. The first one's going to be, what is the best piece of advice, Jevon, that you have personally ever received about scaling a mission-driven business as you are doing now?
Yeah, the best advice would be to scale slowly. Don't try to rush it, because that's when you make mistakes and that's when you lose that authenticity, because you start trying to be someone else when you need to be you.
I love it. And then last but not least here, Jevon, what is the best piece of advice that you can leave for our listeners who are tuning in right now, just heard your incredible journey and everything you're doing with BrightMind? What can you leave them with before we wrap up the show?
Yeah, understand that success is not meant to be a lonely journey. It shouldn't be lonely at the top. You should have people pulling you up and you should be pulling up others. That's the only way to grow sustainably.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Short and sweet. I love it. With that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Jevon, truly can't thank you enough for coming on the show, sharing your incredible journey and your insights with us, and clear as day, the drive, the passion that you have. And again, thank you so much for your service. It was an honor and a pleasure to have this conversation with you today, Jevon. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also check out BrightMind Consulting Group at brightmindconsultinggroup.com for their leadership resources and coaching options. And follow Jevon on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Jevon Wooden. And for more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.